Right, right. Welcome everybody. Okay, we are here. Let's see who's in the chat. Hello. All right, we have 3 people. Amazing. Hello, hello. Hey, how are you? All right. Nico, you right? Okay. How is everybody doing? All right. Cool. So, hello, testing. Right, now I cannot hear myself. That's good. And let's get started, right? So, welcome everybody to Animation Tuesday, apparently. And there are many things that had happened, since last time that we, talked to each other. So first thing is that, I have been having issues with the stream because apparently my machine, not even my machine, apparently it's hard to do real time video, all right? Who could imagine, right? In 2023 with, 3070 and, a Ryzen 9 CPU, but still it's very hard. I don't know why. Like OBS, bless him, it's wonderful, right? It really it's a piece of software, and it's open source and it's backed up by users, which is all great. But to tell you the truth, it's for fun. It's not for running like a bunch of things in your machine. It's for like running Unreal, like whatever, Fortnite and stuff like that. But you cannot run Unreal and, be zooming and doing many things at the same time. It's bound to fail. So, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm still a little bit constipated, right? The winter is coming here in Argentina, and yeah, the mornings, the early mornings are very cold, and my voice have taken a toll, on that. But I just had a little bit of warm soup, and it was very good, and now I should be ready. So I revamped the whole system. All right. The way that I'm doing it now, I should have a lot less lag or delay was the thing that I was having. Like before, I was having like almost a full second of delay, which was unbearable, right? To answer you guys and to, when I was zooming, it was horrible. I was like overstepping over people when they were talking, not intentionally. It's, trying to talk with someone with 1 second of delay. It's almost impossible. So now everything is, I'm having right now, like, I really don't know. I could almost monitor myself talking. I should have something like, I don't know, not even 100 milliseconds of delay, which is great. It is amazing. All right, we have Kino. Hello, hello. And we have VJ Neon. Cool. Hello, hello. Oh, I know who VJ Neon is. I'm guessing, is it you? Oh, I know who you are. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, so another thing that had happened. So let's try it. This is going to be like, Elena is not going to join us today, mostly because I'm not confident in the hardware and the stuff. Like, it was working, but then it stopped working. So now I'm a little bit, frightful of this whole thing. OBS crashing. Like, it doesn't crash, but the actual video freezing time. I don't know why. And yeah, so everything is brand new, right? Like the way that I'm, doing all the ingestion of the video, like not with new hardware, is the same hardware as usual. It's just like a different way of connecting things, right? So the type of scenes that I'm using should be a lot better. So yeah, and another surprise is that I'm using a dual machine type of streaming now. I unpacked, my old machine, and now I'm using that one to use Unreal. So let me just show you, and let me monitor myself and see if this is happening. So now I should be in Unreal, not in Unreal, in my other machine. And yeah, this one is not being ingested as a video. This is connected through remote control. But because it's inside my local area network, it works perfectly. Like I can do everything from here. I can launch Unreal. For educational purpose is perfect, but you cannot game with this much of delay. Again, it's just a little tad of delay, but it's nothing. And again, I could, avoid all the delay stuff if I would, get a monitor for my. I have a monitor for my old PC, but what I don't have is enough space to make everything happen into my tiny space. So yeah, so far it's going pretty well. So I can now, go back to my camera, and yeah, everything is running fine. So what I want you to do is to let me know if you have Anthony Chardiello. Now I remember, is it you, right, Anthony? I was in the back of my mind, trying to remember your name, not because I forget about you, just because it's been so long, right? But yeah, I mean, there it is. So this now is my streaming setup, right? So there are more news. So the first thing is, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to do some Metahuman conversions or customizations. So, ripping the head out of this Metahuman, Kyoko, and, set it up on Velica, and doing the same with Gavin, and set him up in Greystone. Yeah, Greystone. That's his name. And this was the thing that I was doing yesterday. So yeah, let me get rid of the headless one. Come on. I'm sorry. All right. So there is a lot to talk today, right? As you see, this one is already done, and this is how it should look, right? There are still, a couple of things, to keep in mind with this particular method. And this is one of those, like there is some sort of vertex, flying back there, but for the rest it's quite good. And that is what we're going to be talking today. In other news, and this is wonderful. I have no way of showing it right now because I still need to develop a little bit more of the scenes and the stuff. But my team, the team that I have with Franco Villanova, was accepted by the Fortnite Creator Committee or something. Now we are part of the Economy 2.0. And we have already the first, I do have a way of showing it, but yeah, it's going to be weird. Maybe not. Maybe we could, maybe later we can fire up Fortnite so we can check it out. All right. So now what that means is that finally, everything that we can create with UFN, we can upload to a island and publish it, right? And I'm going to be able to share the island key because it won't be, as far as I know, promoted by Epic on the start page of all the creative stuff. Just big, creators are in those suggested pages, but you can share your island code. And, you're going to be able to test whatever we achieve with that, right? So mainly we're not going to be doing, fun games or stuff like that. We are mostly interested into giving it a twist, right? It should be something adventure-like, cinematic-wise. And we want to see if we can do shorts inside UEFN. So that way it could be like a visit to an island where you enjoy a short, right? That could be a very nice thing to do, a real-time short, which is going to be madness, right, to achieve. But yeah, that's exactly what we want to achieve with that. And in other news also, the channel has been accepted. Sorry, wait for that. The channel has been accepted to AdSense. So now I have all the paperwork going. I have all the bank information going and everything. So that means that now you can become a member of this channel. And there are a couple of perks, that I, sat down and thought about them. So what could be good for you to have, all right? We can talk about those later. I'm going to devise like its own video, to cover that. But I just want you to know that there are, plans in the makings and very cool things are going to happen pretty soon. And I'm going to need your support. Not just, financially. It's going to be mostly people that I know that will have enough interest to check out my work and to check out some classes that I'm going to be devising, right? So you're going to be my test subjects in a way. But because, I want it to be private, I want to have members. And now that you can become members, you're going to be able to check out all that work right in private. Because very soon, I'm going to have huge announcements in that regard. So I'm guessing that's all. And I'm guessing that oh yeah, about the monitors. The thing is that I have a medium-sized space here, and I could, take a little bit more space, on the place that I am right now. But the thing is that I want these to become like a little island, right? I want to see how minimalistic can I go in this setup. So that way I can travel around because I don't know if I'm going to be staying here, for long. And I want to see if I can do this on the road. If I can do this on the road, it's going to be perfect. I want to travel. I want to, visit places. I want to be involved, with you guys in the community. And I want these to be like a circus, right? That I can go and visit you and visit localities, and do this kind of, streams and classes, more on a live way, right? So yeah, that's what I want. You know, this whole virtuality is good, but it's nothing like having, you know, contact with people, right? Being in front of you, giving you a class, giving you some seminary, giving you a webinar is, you know, the webinar is what we are doing right now. But yeah, it's like that. I want to travel. I want to visit you guys. I have made a bunch of new friends, you know, from these 2 years running with the fellowship, and I want to travel. I want to start doing that thing, right? So yeah, that's why I want this to be as small as possible. But let's see how it goes. Cool. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Okay, so today, this is what we are going to be achieving. And it's like I spent like my whole Sunday trying to record a video for this, and it was completely impossible. Like this process, even though it is very well revised and it's as simple as I could, you know, manage to do it, it still has its own issues, right? And not all the issues are ironed out. So we are bound to have, you know, a couple of those. But that being said, let's just, you know, start doing some of these conversions, all right? So we're going to be tackling, in this case, 3 different ways of doing this, right? Mostly this one is going to be almost the same as, you know, this one right here. But we're going to have, you know, in turns, it's going to be the hard way and the hardest way, all right? So let's start with the hard way first. So first of all, what we're going to need is let me save everything. And now we can get rid of this one. Yeah, that's good. All right, so the first thing that we're going to need is a blueprint, right? An empty actor blueprint. So we're going to click add and we're going to create a blueprint class, and it's going to be of an empty actor, right? And this one I'm going to call it Kyoko underscore Bellica, because this is what it's going to be, all right? And now that we have Kyoko Bellica empty actor created blueprint, I'm going to double click on it, and you know, the editor of the blueprint will open. And again, be sure to let me know if you have any whatever issue you feel like I'm having with the sound. Let me know, because that is what I'm fighting right now. And once we have the Kyoko Bellica empty blueprint open, we need the head of Kyoko, right? And to get the head of Kyoko, I'm going to click on the metahuman of Kyoko, and I'm going to hit Control E to edit that blueprint. And now that, you know, that blueprint is open, and you can see her right here, I'm going to select the face and everything related to the face. And I'm going to hit Control C to copy. And now I can go back to Kyoko Bellica, and I'm going to select this default scene root, and I'm going to hit Control V. So what this will give us is, you know, the head of our metahuman floating in space right here in this blueprint, right? Now this Kyoko is done. We can close her. We can compile. Everything is good. We can start cleaning up a couple of things. Like, for example, I know that Kyoko doesn't have a mustache or a beard, so we can get rid of those components. And just because I want this to be like a fast conversion, I can get rid of all the things that are very, you know, heavy for metahumans, like the fuzz. Mainly because, yeah, we're not going to be looking at her too, you know, close. So we can get rid of that one. And that is going to be good enough. Later on, we're going to have to do something with LODs. But, you know, when we get there, we get there. So that's it. Now we have the face, and now we need a body. So for the body, I'm going to click again on the default scene root, and I'm going to click add, right? And we're going to add an skeletal mesh component. Once we click it, we're going to rename it body. And we're going to select from this body, the body of Bellica, right? The skeletal mesh body of Bellica. And this is nice, right? Now we have a body, we have a head, but now we have 2 heads, right? So we need to find out a way to get rid of Bellica head. And that is going to be, you know, fairly easy because we just need to hide a couple of these materials. And conveniently enough, we're going to be able to get rid of the head just with materials. So the material that we're going to use is what is called, we can see screen. Oh, right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. All right. So again, let me back up a little bit. Yeah, I'm such a noobish with this thing. So all that I did was to create empty blueprint. All right. And this empty blueprint, let me go about this again. Why not? It's nothing special what we just, achieve, right? So let me go back a little bit and let's start over again. So again, we're going to create an empty blueprint class, an actor class. We're going to rename it Kyoko _ Bellica. Sorry for that. You know how I am. I have always my head in another place. So I'm going to double click on Kyoko Bellica, and I'm going to also select Kyoko and hit Control E so we can edit that blueprint. So we can, this is what we have in the Kyoko blueprint, right? And I'm going to select her face and everything related to it. And now I'm going to hit Control C and I can copy that. Now I can go to Kyoko Bellica. I can select the default scene root, and now I can Control V to paste. And this should give us, this lonely head floating in space, which is good. I can compile this one, and now I can, release Kyoko from her duties. And now we can stay here. I can save. And now I need a body, right? So I need to select the default scene root, and we're going to create a skeletal mesh component. And this one is going to be called the body. And that is good. Oh, yeah. Now we're good. Now we're good. All right. And now that we have this body, we're going to, select the body of Bellica, right? So it's right here. It's the skeletal mesh of Bellica. And now we have 2 heads and 1 body. And now we can fix that very soon. So another thing that I'm going to do that I just did, for Kyoko was to remove the beard and the mustache, right? Because clearly she doesn't have any of those, and the fuzz, just because it's hard to render. And these conversions, even though they are good, they're not close up good, right? So it's going to be totally fine if we can get rid of that fuzz, right? The other thing that we are going to do now is to remove the head of Bellica, right? And we are going to achieve that by utilizing all these different material elements, material slots. And we need to assign a hide material, right? So let me show you what a hide material is. So we're going to right click, create a new material, and it's going to be called the hide material. And we're going to edit it. And to create a hide material is pretty easy. We select the master material node. And from here, we go to the blend node, and we're going to switch it for mask, all right? And the shading model, we're going to assign unlit, right? Now, if we create a constant 0 and connect it to the opacity mask, this is as easy to render as you can find, right? This is perfect. Unreal won't even try to render this material. So let's save it. Let's close it. And now we can start assigning that hide material to many of these, material slots. So let's start with this one. Let me type hide, and this may take a little bit of a while, so have patience. So hide, and now I can paste hide, and this one hide. And you guessed it, hide. And the one of the eyes, hide. The other eye, hide. The mouth, of course, hide. Upper body. This upper body is some sort of ponytail that she has there, like a scrunchie. And this is the hair, also hide. Now we have the guns. We can keep the guns if we want. But what we're going to need to remove is this head skin. That is a hide. And this thing is some sort of hologram or something. We can get rid of that also. Right? That's it. Now we have the headless Bellica and the head of Kyoko, right? So far is good, right? We're getting all these very easily. All right. So now we need to parent, right? We need to parent the face and the body, so they are both going to move, in unison. But this is a thing. When you do that, finally, we're going to have to use what is called a bone parent. And let me show you what would happen, right? So you can see what I'm talking about. So we can grab the face, drop it inside the body, and this is going to happen. We're going to talk about this very soon. But the other thing that will happen is that if we get this face and we try to bind it to a bone, all right, this is what is going to happen. So if I take this parent socket and I type head, this is what is going to happen. So yeah, the actual rotations of the head bone of Bellica and the root bone of the head of a metahuman, it's completely wrong. So this is not what I want. So I'm going to remove that, and also I'm going to unparent the head again. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a middleman, right? And that middleman is going to be a scene. And a scene component is like an empty. It's just a transform. It's a null object, right? So we're going to select the default scene root, and we're going to type scene, and that's it. And now that we have this scene, we can call it, I don't know, head bone, because that is clearly what it's going to do, right? Now we're going to grab this head bone and we're going to parent it to the body, and that is fine, right? It's still down there, right? For all that it matters. But now this one we can attach to the head. So now we're going to type head in the parent socket. And now you can see that it jumped, right, exactly to where the head bone of Bellica is. This is great. This is what we want. And now what we're going to do is to parent the actual head of Kyoko to the head bone. And let's see what would happen. And that's it, all right? So at least we don't have that, rotation, right? The underside rotation there. But we do have this thing that is the elongation of the neck and this deformation here. And this is simply because of the animation blueprint, right? So this animation blueprint is always trying to copy, the pose of the original body and copy it to the bones of the face, right? Of the head. And because this character is a lot taller and, we're bound to have these issues. So in this method, we're going to simply, remove the animation class, and that is going to be good enough. You're going to see. So for that, we're going to select the head of Kyoko, and we're going to go to where it says animation class. And from there, we're going to select none, and that's it. And as you see, the head just sank as it was before. And this is what we want, because now we're going to position it by hand. All right. So let's compile and save. Now we're going to select the head, and I'm going to move it a little bit upwards until, it's around the ballpark, right? Maybe around there. That is good. But then we have also that conveniently the head bone, because it's a parent of the head, we can also move the head from here, and we can, take advantage of it being, this close to, the face and the head. So we have a lot more control into the position, rotation, or whatever we want to achieve with this, right? So maybe a little bit back and a little bit up. And this is looking fine, right? So we do have, let me type here in my command, near clip, and we're going to choose set near clip value, and I'm going to set it to 1 centimeter. So now we have more detail here, right? Oh my God, my throat is hurting me. That's all right. Let's suffer for the art. All right, so that's it. This looks pretty nice. This is good enough for me. And as you see, almost everything is done. But there are a couple of more things that we're going to be doing, all right? But for now, this is good. Now let's test it and see, what else we need to do for this to be perfect. So for that matter, let's grab this couple right here and let's move it to the side. Not that far to the side, just there. That is good. All right. Now let's drop here our Kyoko Bellica. And there she is. Cool. Now let's test her. All right. The way that we're going to test her is using level sequence that I happen to have already here. All right. With a couple of animations, this guide right here already have an animation. But we're going to test this one later. For now, we want to test Kyoko. For now, I'm going to also remove this animation mode, go back to selection. It might go back to that after I add Kyoko Bellica into the sequencer, because the face of this metahuman will prompt the control board. So for now, I'm not going to do any facial animation, so I can close this, delete it. And now this Kyoko Bellica can track the body. That's what I really want. Again, I'm going to close the animation mode, so we do have a lot more space here. And from this body, all I need to do is to load a Bellica animation. So I'm going animation, and I'm going to recall. And the recall animation is a good long animation, from which I can test how this thing looks. And I can make it, as big as we want. And that's it. Now we can play, and you can see that the head is following perfectly, all right, the neck, and we're not having any issues at this border, but we do have the issue of the flappy flaps going, outside of the armor, and this is what we're going to fix right now. So there are many ways of fixing this. The most common that I've seen is using a material, but I really don't like that way of doing it, because that means that you need to, first of all, edit the master material for metahumans. So that will impact all of your metahumans at once. The second is that you're going to set the skin material of the metahumans to be masked, which is awfully bad, optimization wise, meaning, all of the faces or skin of the metahumans are going to be treated as non-opaque surfaces, which are going to make them a lot harder to render. And now, because we do have options, and let me show you what that option is. Let's select Kyoko Bellica, right? And let's jump to the face component, and let's double click on the Kyoko face mesh, right? This should open the persona editor, right? And from here, you're going to see that I have these modeling tools. And if you're asking yourself, like, why do I have modeling tools in the skeletal mesh editor? Well, that is because if you go edit and plugins and you type modeling, you're going to see that there are, and these are pretty old. I'm guessing since 5.0 we have these things as experimental, but they're not on by default because they are experimental, right? So be sure to enable this one. It's called Skeletal Mesh Modeling Tools, and you can, after you do that, you restart your engine, and you're going to have this little button here. And what we're going to try to achieve with this is simple. We are going to remove the neck of these metahumans, so we use only what we need, right? So let's click on the modeling tools, and we're going to click on the polycut. Yeah, sadly, the polycut is going to be the only way of doing this. There should be other ways, maybe pretty soon, at which we're going to be able to select, a couple of those triangles and maybe assign a different material, and that would be perfect, because then you're going to have a new material that you can assign that height material, and that would be the way to go. But for now, this is like the only way to remove, at least with the modeling tools, right? So that's it. Now we have, some sort of GUI down here. And this thing is weird, but just follow around, what I do and you will be fine. So the operation, we're going to switch to trim inside, and the shape is going to be a square. Strangely enough, this square, it's not cutting as a plane. It is cutting on this side, which again is not wonderful. As a tool, it's not intuitive, right? So now you can see that when I rotate the head appear again, and now I can move it up, and right there where there is that edge is the cutting, right, of the cube. So we can pull it up all we want, and we gotta make sure that we have a little bit of an angle here. So we cut enough, right? Because again, if we jump here, you can see that we won't need much neck at all, because all we need is, chin and cheekbones and, mandible and, no neck, right? So I'm guessing this will be more than enough. So the less is more in this particular case, right? You're going to see that it's going to be a little bit different with the other way around. And that's it. Now the only thing that I must do is to click accept. And that's it. Very soon we are going to have, yeah, that's it. So we have a neckless Kyoko, but we add this thing right here that I really don't know how to fix this one. So this is the only flaw in this plan, and that is this single thing there. There are a lot of other flaws in this thing. Like for example, if you go away enough, you can see that LOD1 still have the neck. So we just edit LOD0, which is not what we really want, but it's the best thing that this polycode can do, right? It doesn't matter. We can, log LOD0 for our stuff, and it's going to work. But this little thing there that I still don't know how to fix it. But yeah, that is good. That is good enough, at least for now, right? We may, after we go through all the different ways of doing this, we can go back here and see if we can fix this one. So far, I have not been successful, right? So hello, Brent. No, there is no announcement on Face Animator. And I know that you are the Metahuman animator. I know you are waiting for it eagerly because you're using Faceware. I wonder what would happen with Faceware after, Metahuman animator goes out. My condolences. It's hard when these kind of things happen. But yeah, I mean, Epic really took it out of the park with this thing. It's really awesome what they can do now. But yeah, let's hope for maybe fall this year. At the latest, maybe December. But yeah, that should be around that moment, right? Oh my God, my nose is killing me. I'm going to need just a second to fix this thing. Give me just a second. All right, I'm back. That was nasty. All right, so let's continue. You want it right now. Yeah, that's it. Everybody wants that thing, right? And what really gave me jibby weebies with it is that after they presented the Metahuman animator that apparently for now only works for the face, they started talking about, body deformation and alembic training and AI and all that good stuff. So let's hope that in the near future, we are not only going to have like these Metahuman animator for the face, but for the whole body. And that is going to be a blast for sure. And with that, more, appealing bodies for the metahumans also, with muscles and deformation, good deformations. That is going to be amazing. Amazing. Trust me. This is the animation year, so you know. All right. So let's continue a little bit there. So we have everything done. We can, close the modeling tools. We can save Kyoko. The big bad thing about, doing it this way is that your own Kyoko is going to lose, that nick, right? For the LOD0. At least she should. Oh, I know. She is right now docked on LOD1. That's why she's not losing the neck, right? But yeah, this is what we have. And now you can see that, this is perfect. She is going to be performing well until you get too far away, and then LOD1 will hit and the thing will show. But now let's fix all the LOD issues here, right? So let's select again Kyoko Bellica. Let's go Control E. And let's select the face. We are going to look for LOD. And now here, where it says Force LOD Model, we're going to select 1, right? It's weird. Yeah, 1 is 0 in this context for some reason. And that's it, right? Then for the eyebrows, hair, and eyelashes, there should be, yeah, no, it is not this one. Where it is, oh, here it is, the LOD bias, right? And we're going to take it all the way -7. Can I do that for all at the same time? No, each at a time. It's all right. And eyelashes also -7. And that's it. With that, all the LOD issues are solved. And now we have full, grooming for, this Metahuman with the eyebrows that will not do weird stuff. So I can say that this way of doing this thing is perfect. Almost perfect. If it wasn't for that tiny issue right there. So I'm getting to a point that if I could delete that vertices, I know that we're not going to miss it because, it's below, the eyebrow and the stuff. So let's try to do that after, right? All right, so this concludes the first part of customizing metahumans. This is just the hard way, all right? Now we're getting to the hardest way. Trust me, this one is a little bit harder, but it's good. It's more than good. All right. So let's stop this. This one is good. This one to me is ready. We, at least technically, the only bad thing is that thing up there, but the hair looks good. The connection is good. You're going to be able to move this thing everywhere and it won't have any issues. All right. So that is concluded. Let's save this sequencer. Let's close it. And now let's go to the hardest way. So it's mostly, halfway into the process of, what we did with this one is when this thing gets a little bit harder, right? But for the rest, it's almost the same thing, right? So let's do it. Let's redo exactly what we did before. That means, creating a blueprint, name it using the empty actor, name it Gavin Greystone. That is good. Let's double click on that. Let's save everything just so we know that's it. We need to edit Gavin, Control E. open that up, go to the viewport so we know. We can take the face and all these, copy. We can go to the Gavin Greystone, select the default scene root, paste it there. That is good, right? Everything seems to be good up to now. We select the default scene root, we click add, we create a new skeletal mesh, name the body, and we're going to select Greystone body. But you know what? I'm going to use a cooler one. This one is cool, but where is it? There is a skin of Grayskull, this one, the Nova something something. Yeah, this one is even cooler. Yeah, it's going to be this one. All right, so again, we need to get rid of a bunch of these materials, right? And as far as I know, I'm going to start, assigning height to a bunch of these. Oh my God. There it is, height and height and height and height, maybe. Are you still complete? Yeah, you are. The mouth, go away. The eye, the hair. This one is good. All of these are good. And this might be the face. And we still have some eyelashes. And it says right here, eyelash master. Let's hide this one. And the eye occlusion. That's it. All right, so now we have headless Greystone. And now comes the hard part. So this is where this thing differs, right? Again, we don't have a fuzz, nor mustache, nor beard on Gavin. So let's get rid of all those. And mostly this is all right. So this time around, this is what we are going to do. So we are just going to grab the face and drop it on top of the body. And this will create the parent, right? We're parenting the face to the body, and that's right. And now we have the elongation of the neck, and we are still using this animation class, right? And this is where things get harder. Watching, all right, from the gym. Hello, Franco. Yeah, exactly. We are switching the head of a bunch of metahumans, different methods. We are at the hardest way of doing it. So we're going to fix this deformation with the face animation blueprint, all right? So let's go where this thing is, and we're going to do a copy of it. Yeah, so we're going to drag it and drop it here in content and make a copy of that. Now we can go to content, and we now have this, sorry, I did another copy. I'm always pressing Control D instead of Control S. And now we're going to rename this one so we know where we're talking about. So this is going to be face transplant. Face off, this should be. All right, and now that we have this new animation blueprint, I'm going to assign it to the dude that is inside the Gavin Greystone, right? And let's use the arrow, and that's it. Now we can edit this one safely, right? Without breaking, any other stuff. And let's double click to start editing it. Just a second. So now what we are going to do is, this is good. We're going to really do all the work in the animation graph. Let's double click on that, and you can have here everything like link wise and fixing the mouse and fixing the teeth controls and everything. And then you have here the frontier. So this thing is where the animation from the head and the animation from the body joins, right? We're not going to edit this one, but this node right here is where the animation blueprint copies the pose of the body, right? And right now, this use mesh pose is turned off. And this is the only thing that we should do to have a good animation of the neck of Gavin with the body of Greystone, all right? So let me click there and compile and save, and that's it. Now, this is going to look horrible here. Not that bad, all right? We are at the same spot as we were before, right? Mostly. Let's test how far are we and start fixing, things that we need to fix. So let's drop now Gavin Greystone right here to the side. And let's add him also to the sequencer. Let me close everything because so far, so good. Let me show you where we are. Let me add the sequencer, close Kyoko, add Gavin Greystone, remove, the face and the face contour rig, track the body of Greystone. And now I can add a Greystone animation. It's going to be also the recall one, just because they are long and good. And that's it. Now we can check out that, yeah, the actual neck has motion with, the animation from Greystone. And this is working perfectly if it wasn't because of the flappy flaps that are always an issue, right? But we're going to fix it fairly soon. So this fix is a little bit, longer because we could cut, but still we will have, the issue with the hair down here. And yeah, it's awful. So let's fix it, on all, different parts that we need to fix it. So the first fix should be on the actual, let's save everything because everything is fine. And now we must do the first fix on the animation blueprint, right? And the only fix that we're going to do here is we need a longer neck. So why this is failing is because it's like getting the spine 5. The metahumans have more spine bones than, the Paragon characters, right? And so that extra spine 5, it's compressed from neck 4 to head to neck 1, right? And that's why, the whole thing gets like compressed and horrible and it's not working. And because, they're not the same skeleton, you're bound to have, those kind of issues. So what I'm going to do is something very simple. I'm going to use one of these, and this is a transform bone, the transform bone node, all right? And I'm going to create one of those right here. Oh, come on. There it is. So this is going to be the transform modify bone. This is good, right? This one, we're going to do a couple of things. So this is a little bit cleaner. And that means that, this pin for scale, I won't need it. So don't expose it. And this pin for rotation, I won't need it. So don't expose it. So now I just have, the transform bone and the translation that is what we're going to use. So first thing, we need to select the bone that we want to, use. And this time it's going to be neck 1. All right. Now that we have neck 1 selected, we can simply go to the translation, and instead of translation mode ignore, we're going to change it to add. All right. Now all we need is to raise the neck, right? 20 units, 20 centimeters. So once we compile, this is what we get. All right. And Gavin is going to look awful, right, at doing this. But this is what we are going to do. We are going to duplicate this, right? Duplicate. We're going to set it exactly in the middle, like this. And this one will do exactly the contrary, but with spine 5, right? So now we're going to switch this to spine 5 on the new, on the duplicate. And this one is going to be -20. And let's compile. And this is what happens. Like the whole thing sank again. And now I can save and I can close this. And this is what we get. So the hair issue, it's solved, right? We don't have, that compression of the missing spine 5, because now spine 5 is very low, on the chain. But for the rest, we still have those flappy issues. And you guessed it, that's what we need to do now. We need to cut the neck of this dude, right? So let's do it. Let's go now to the face component. Let's be sure that everything is safe. Everything is safe. Let's jump here. You know the drill. Modeling tools, polycut, and trimming side and square is good. We are going to rotate this thing up to there and then rise it up. But this time around, I want a little bit of a neck, right? Because we have that luxury here, right? This is not like Bellica that has this neck, turtleneck thing, right? And that will cover, the issue that we are not inheriting any type of animation on the neck here. It's just a head floating on top of a neck bone head, neck bone of the body, right? In this case, we do have a little bit of that animation, and that means that we do need a little bit of that neck. So let's put this a little bit forward and maybe a little bit lower. I'm thinking that something like this, a little bit lower, would be good enough. We can still undo this thing if we're totally wrong, but let's click accept and let's see how this goes. And very soon we can save. Let's not close. Let's just look at it. Oh, it's perfect. It's good enough. It's good enough. All right, let's check that neck. Yeah, be gone. Now let's, do the actual animation. And there it is. We do have a neck animation for Gavin. And we have a little bit of his neck, and it's working perfectly. If it wasn't for that freaking vertex that jumps out every time I use, it's just if you activate the modeling tools, the thing pops. And there is no way of putting him down again. So let's call it a day. This is going to be good enough. Let's fix the LODs for everything. And yeah, that's it. So let's edit the blueprint of our Gavin Greystone. And let's select the face. And let's go to LOD. LOD. And let's force LOD model 1, which is 0. Strangely enough, and then eyebrow -7, hair -7, and eyelashes -7. Compile, save, close, and that's it. We have a very good, weirdly vertex floating conversion for a metahuman, and it's fine. I mean, you can check the neck, the hair. It's a little bit, weird, but you can fix it, putting the head a little bit upper and the spine 5 a little bit lower. But yeah, at least, for normal motions, it's pretty good from where, this thing is like this. But it's cool. I mean, it works. I don't know what you think. Using the material wouldn't be better. Non-destructive, yeah, but it will make you change the skin material for all metahumans, and it will convert them from being opaque to mask. So that to me is like more of an issue, right? Because we are bound to have issues with the hair and the groom, so we are pumping the quality of this thing a little bit on this side. So if you also add the fact that now all your metahumans are going to have mask blend materials for all the skin, to me is a loss there. And yeah, you gotta be sure to get out, make the mask, or get the mask from somewhere and then apply it. To me, this should be the way to go. It's more into what Unreal is pointing, to tell you the truth. Unreal wants you to start doing this kind of things. And maybe even though now it might be like this, it might be a lot better very soon. Again, let's say that you don't want these to be as destructive. What I would do is to go to my Metahuman folder, right? And not even the Metahuman folder. I would go to where the face of this metahuman is, like this, and I could make a rename it, and that will work perfectly. I didn't copy it and work on a copy because then all the grooms are, you need to rebind them, and for some reason it's always an issue with that. So it's an ordeal, so I won't do it. But what you can do, if you want to get Gavin's back, you could do the Gavin transform, or I don't know, transfer, and you rename it, and that will rename it like everywhere it's been used. And now, if you want, you could go to your Quixel bridge, re-import him, and that will bring a new head, a separate head with all the bindings and everything, with the neck and everything. So it's like having Gavin back. Let me show you. So I could grab Gavin, reapply him to, all right. It tells me that it needs to close this level. So let's do it. Yeah, save everything. And now I can get Gavin's back. It shouldn't, at least as far as I know, it shouldn't delete the head that I remove the neck, because it will only add, it shouldn't remove out anything. And even if it's removed, you can save it, outside on the content or in another folder. And that way, you're going to have the best of all. You're going to have a head, without the neck, and the head with the neck, to have maybe Gavin on civilians, clothing, right? Not just with the thing. So let's see if this worked. It should have. Let me go content. Let me go back to this main. And no, it's a complete disaster. So this is what I was talking about. Trying to rebind in the head. Yeah, this is what happens. So let me just see. Look at that. Oh my God. His face exploded. I know you're here for these kind of things, to tell you the truth. All right, so let's see. This thing is completely broken. So let's jump here. And yeah, we do still have, this other one here. So we would have to go, and replace him. Let's see if we can replace him, just to save a little bit of this work. Control E to edit. Let's go to the face, and now let's pick, instead of that, Gavin's face without neck, have the Gavin face with the neck. And yeah, all right, no, this, all right, he is Saiyajin now. Kame, are you kidding me? Yeah, don't do that. don't re-import. Yeah, we need to take this thing, on the back of the barn with a bullet, and be done with that one. Yeah, horrible thing. Be gone. The body of Christ compels you. The body of Christ compels you. Yeah, that's it. All right, good. Good riddance. All right, but yeah, I mean, there are a few things to work out, I guess. And, I was, to change the, what is this? Oh, look at that. We have, is this 5.1? Oh, this is 5.1. So we are having the hideous issue of map corruption. It's what we have here. This is horrible. This is a thing with 5.11. If you're having this issue, rest assured that it's not in 5.2. So that is amazingly good. But yeah, if you have this issue, the only thing that I have found out to work is to, save everything, close Unreal, and reopen it again, and it's going to be fine. It's like for some reason, your video card gets this message with, exhausted memory or stuff. And that means that for sure in a couple of minutes, you're going to have some sort of meat map decaying and corruption. So you're going to have those, like corrupted places in the meat map for some meat map, which is horrible. But nice thing is that in 5.2, that's not a thing anymore. All right. So lastly, let's check out this thing. Now it's working good. Yeah, everything is good. And it doesn't matter how how much video card memory you have, you're bound to have it because it's an issue with 5.11. It's there and it's going to be there forever. I have not experienced it in 5.2. So if you have that issue, the easiest thing is to jump boats. 5.1 is horrible with that thing, right? And yeah, that's it. That's it for now. So what I did with this conversion, I did it last night with a fellow. And this is, using the body of Manny to be as a spacesuit for Christopher here. And as you see, I did exactly the same thing. I cut the neck of Christopher, and I cut the head of the Metahuman. Again, I left this thing there, and then we figure out like this was not going to fly simply because, if you want him to talk, you're going to have this, big issue there. And another thing that someone asked me was like, all right, so this way of doing this thing that doesn't use the actual animation blueprint, like how would you record, right, with the face app? It doesn't matter. You can record on this Kyoko and then use the animation on this Kyoko. It's going to be exactly the same. Or you can record directly on the animation blueprint and then applying the animation to this Kyoko. It's going to work either way. That is fine. Don't worry about that. So let's check out a little bit of our chat. So Nova, did you make a copy of the head? Yeah, no, I didn't, because you always have that issue with the groom asset and the binding and the thing. Yeah, he's being spoken to by aliens for sure. there is no other way but being calm. It's like I need a shirt that says, yeah, when your metahuman does this, keep calm and follow me. All right. This has been, I mean, if we didn't have any technical issue, to me, this was like a perfect stream. Like I was having so many issues with this thing. I was discouraged, to continue with the stream. So I went back to basic and do a couple of those videos. It felt good. And the response has been also good. So I'm thinking streams are a little bit of a stress. So I might not be doing more than one a week. And maybe just because, this is the animation year, we should keep Animation Tuesday to be the actual name of the live stream. All right. And maybe, just maybe, if, there is something at a rise at that moment, like, I don't know, we could do a little bit of UEFN or stuff like that in another day, but for later time. So mainly I'm going to be focusing right now on doing videos and one stream a week and working on that secret wink thing that I'm working that should be out pretty soon, for which I'm going to need a lot of help from you in the members, right? On the member side, because now you can become a member of the YouTube channel, but you don't have to, right? This is going to be if you want to help me doing some testing on some content that I'm going to be running. It's going to be a lot better if I do it, in a private way, with my friends, with, the members that do want to, help me in that regard. For any of you that don't want to become a member, remember you can, simply drop a comment that is the best thing to do. Drop by and see how am I doing, and for sure, follow me on the social networks and on the channel, right? Be sure to turn on notifications, which will tell you when I'm about to do some sort of live, or if some video is coming out with those clever tips and tricks. I don't know, that's what I want the most, right? To do those kind of things. And I have a couple more on the way, so yeah, expect them very soon. And yeah, that is going to be all for today. This was a very long what time is it? Let me turn my camera. Right, do the propers goodbye. So, right, it was an hour. It's not that bad, but my voice is not going to last too long. But yeah, I want you all. Oh, see, we have the first member. Oh, look at Brent. All right, good. Yeah, you find out all the emojis. We have the crazy emoji, and we have the got you. All right. Yeah, thank you for that. That's amazing. That's so good. All right. Thank you so much. Our first member. That's memorable. And being you, Brent, I couldn't expect less. All right. Thank you so much. All right. With that, I'm going happy at the end of this stream. So again, be good, and I love you all very much, and I will catch you on the next one. All right. Bye.